During that extreme patrol with Sean Strickland, he's been saying some stuff in interviews about he just didn't like your approach. Just why do you think he's saying that, and do you have a response?
I don't know. When I was there, they never said anything, you know. When I leave the Vegas and when they stopped my visa, he started to talk. When I come back, I'm in LA, bro. Come on. If it's something personal for you, just come. I'm here whenever you want.
At the UFC Apex to talk about a lot of big fights that are going to be happening. And the first one right off the bat, the biggest news of them all, and we were kind of waiting for this one. We kind of had a feeling that maybe this was going to happen. And I am, of course, talking about the one and only Khamzat Chimaev taking on, for the middleweight title, Sean Strickland. That is correct. Sean needs no nickname. He gets called lots of names by a lot of people because he's a controversial guy. But I'll tell you what, the way that he beat Alexander Fluffy Hernandez, the way that he put a beat down on him respectfully to Fluffy, the way that he finished him with that knee to the midsection, and then, to be honest, how he handled himself on the microphone, right?
Fluffy's the definition of a man.
He deserves this shot. Of course, he lost the belt to Dricus du Plessis.
The atmosphere inside the UFC Apex just shifted from quiet anticipation to absolute electricity. Michael Bisping is standing by with a bombshell that has the entire MMA world reeling. We've been waiting for a middleweight title picture to clear up, and today the fog has lifted to reveal a collision course no one truly expected. It's official. The most controversial man in the sport, Sean Strickland, is set to defend his claim to the throne against the most feared force of nature in the UFC, Khamzat Chimaev. This isn't just a fight, it's a collision of two completely different worlds, and the fuse has just been lit.
How's he going to do against Khamzat Chimaev? I don't know about that. Khamzat Chimaev is ridiculous. What is he, 15-0? He's a force of nature. Of course, went to a decision with Dricus du Plessis, controlled him throughout the entirety of the fight. Yes, he was trying to finish it, but he didn't get it. But other than that, he does smoke most people. Now, Sean Strickland gets the shot over Nassourdine Imavov. Now, let me just look at my notes here, because I'll tell you when and where exactly that is happening. It is going to be May 9th, okay, in Newark, New Jersey.
Khamzat Chimaev is a perfect 15-0, a man who doesn't just win, he smashes. After a dominant display against Dricus du Plessis, the world knew Boers was ready for gold. But standing in his way is the ultimate wild card. Sean Strickland, fresh off a brutal stoppage of Alexander Fluffy Hernandez, has proven time and again that you cannot count him out. While Khamzat brings the wrestling of a mountain bear, Strickland brings a relentless man's man pace that breaks even the toughest competitors. In Newark, New Jersey on May 9th, we find out if a force of nature can be stopped by pure, unadulterated grit.
On Strickland headlining against Khamzat Chimaev, there's a lot to talk about there. There's a lot of bad blood. Chimaev claims that he's already choked out Strickland multiple times, and also claims that his training partner, who's like 135 pounds, also choked out Sean Strickland.
Yeah,
choked him out a few times, right?
We did spar a lot before, but that's why he's so mad, because of the
And as I say, that's the main event in Newark, New Jersey. Co-main event, Alexander Volkov taking on Waldo Cortez Acosta. That's a great fight. Cortez Acosta, I mean, the man's just flying right now. Check this one out, though. This is a good one. This is a great fight. Sean Brady, right?
In the world of professional fighting, what happens behind closed doors usually stays there, unless you're Khamzat Chimaev. The bad blood fueling this middleweight title fight isn't manufactured for the cameras. It's rooted in the training rooms. Chimaev has made the bold claim that he's already choked out Strickland multiple times in sparring, even suggesting his smaller training partners have done the same. For a man like Strickland, who prides himself on his toughness, these aren't just words. They're an insult to his soul. The octagon in Newark won't just be for a belt. It will be for the truth of what really happened on those mats.
Up against Joaquin Buckley. That is a sick fight. Of course, Brady being the amazing grappler that he is. And of course, last time out, you know, who was it? Michael Morales. He got beat down, but that's how you learn. That's how you get better. That's how you improve. And going up against Joaquin Buckley, a man that's as explosive as they come, and a man that can wrestle as well. So that's a sick fight. Also on the card, the former champion returns, Jan Blachowicz, Polish power himself, and he will be taking on Bogdan Guskov. And then opening up the main card, this is a sick fight. Anyone hates on this, you're talking out your arse. This is a great fight. King Green, who just looked phenomenal a few weeks ago, taking on, in fact, last week, what am I saying? Taking on Jeremy Stephens, right? That is a sick fight. And then also the prelim headliner will be Atabi Gautier taking on Ozzy Diaz. So that's great, right? Khamzat Chimaev, Sean Strickland, Nazar Dinimavov. He's going to have to wait. In the meantime, I know that Kyle Bohayo.
While the world focuses on the chaos of the main event, the UFC has quietly assembled one of the most lethal cards of the year for New Jersey. We aren't just getting Strickland and Chimaev. We are witnessing the rise of a heavyweight monster as Alexander Volkov takes on the explosive Walter Cortez Acosta. Add in the return of Polish power Jan Blachowicz against the dangerous Bogdan Guskov, and you have a night designed for finishes. This is a card built for the purists and the casuals alike, where every single walk to the cage carries the potential for a knockout of the year contender.
The UFC White House event, okay? The card broke last week. Justin Gaethje, Ilia Topuria, of course, in the main event. The co-main event, Pereira trying to become a three-weight division champion by getting the interim heavyweight belt against Cyril Gane, right? They're great fights, top to bottom. Steve Garcia opening the card. That's phenomenal. This man's on like an 8-fight win streak, and most of them are in the very first round. Now, check this out. Obviously, at the White House, it's going to be invite only. It's going to be a lot of dignitaries and VIPs, and, you know, you can't just have any old Tom, Dick, and Harry at the White House. Okay, so across the street at the Ellipse, they're building a huge arena, 85,000. It's free. That is correct. 85,000 tickets will be available for free. So as soon as they go on sale, you better put your name down, because they will be allocated on a first come, first serve basis. And let me tell you something right now. Of course, I took the opportunity when I was there with Dana, working with him, talking about the White House. When I heard the tickets were free, I'm like, hey, hook a brother up. So myself, Rebecca, all the family, we're going to Washington, D.C. for the first time, and hopefully I'm going to be working on that card as well. So get yourself a ticket when they're announced, because this truly is a one-on-one event, one of one even. Anyway, right, let's go back a little bit, because
if you want to see the chess match of MMA at its most violent, look no further than the clash between Sean Brady and Joaquin Buckley. Brady is an elite submission specialist looking to redeem himself and climb back into the top-tier conversation, while Buckley is perhaps the most explosive athlete in the welterweight division today. It's the classic striker versus grappler narrative, but with a modern twist. Both men have evolved into well-rounded killers. In a sport where you're only as good as your last performance, both Brady and Buckley are fighting for their lives in the rankings.
Perth, Australia, I'll be there, of course. If there's somewhere to go and it's on the other side of the world and it involves hours and hours and hours of travel and thousands of air miles, of course they send me, which I'm very happy about. But the main event, of course, will be Jack Della Maddalena, the former champion, returning home, prime time Saturday night. Jack Della Maddalena, love the guy. There's always something special about when a champion returns home to the city of their origin, okay? The fans are gonna go crazy, and the matchup is insane. He's taking on Carlos Praches, a man that is gigantic for the division.
There are some fighters who fight for titles, and there are some who fight for the roar of the crowd. Bobby King Green and Jeremy Lil Heathen Stephens belong to the latter. Coming off a phenomenal performance just last week, King Green is jumping right back into the fire against a man who defines the violence-first mentality. If you aren't excited for this matchup, you might be watching the wrong sport. This is a certified barn burner between two legends of the game who know that at this stage of their careers, legacy is written in blood and entertainment.
Just bounced Leon Edwards' head off the canvas respectfully to Rocky, and then before that had that spinning back elbow knockout of Jeff Neal. And as I said, he's massive for the division. I was hanging out with him in Australia. I could not believe the size of this guy. So Jack Della Maddalena taking on Carlos Praches. That's a sick fight, and I'll see you down there in Perth as well. What else have we got? Went through Strickland and Chimaev, but check this one out. On the 16th of May, Arnold Almighty Allen, that is correct, he will be taking on none other than Melchizedek Costa.
The UFC is about to do something so unprecedented, it sounds like a movie script. Welcome to Freedom 250, the UFC White House event. Dana White has shattered the glass ceiling of mainstream sports by bringing the octagon to the heart of American power. With Justin Gaethje headlining and Alex Pereira attempting to make history as a three-weight division champion against Cyril Gane, this isn't just a sports event, it's a cultural landmark. While the elite watch from the White House lawn, the UFC is building an 85,000-seat arena across the street just to house the madness.
Arnold Allen's been in there with some of the best on the planet. We're talking to people like Khamzat Evloev, last time against Jean Silva, Max Holloway, you name him, Arnold Allen's been in there with all of them, and he gives them all a good fight, okay? He's tremendously talented. He truly is world class. And then on the other side, Melchizedek Costa on a 6-fight winning streak. Last time out, spinning back kick right to the dome, cracked him in the face. First person to knock out Dan Ige. And before that, a head kick knockout. Okay, so not an easy fight for Arnold Allen. What else do we have? We've got more. We ain't stopping here. Check this out. Song Yadong versus Davison Figueiredo.
85,000 free tickets. Let that sink in. In an era where ticket prices are skyrocketing, the UFC is giving back to the fans in a way that will change the sport forever. The White House card isn't just about the VIPs and dignitaries. It's about the 85,000 screaming fans who will fill the ellipse for free. From the heavy-hitting stakes of Pereira versus Gane to the opening fire of Steve Garcia's 8-fight win streak, this is the UFC's love letter to the people. It's a one-of-one event that ensures Washington, D.C. will never be the same.
That's going down in Macau on the 30th of May. I'll also be there, of course, and I'm happy to be. Macau's a great place. Song Yadong, of course, had that close fight with Sean O'Malley, who's now on the White House. Song Yadong's a knockout artist. He's taking on Davison Figueiredo, another man that likes to bang, another man that likes to crack. And speaking of people that like to bang, check this out. Co-main event, Zhang Mingyang. He's returning. He was on a crazy streak, knocking everyone out, and then he kind of shat the bed in his hometown of Shanghai, or his home country. It's Johnny Walker. Well, guess what? He ain't done. He's coming back. He ain't finished. He's still motivated. He's still training his goddamn arse off, and he's going up against Alonzo Menifeld. Tell me someone's not going to get knocked out in that fight. Menifield's a banger. Zhang's a banger. Maybe a little issue with the cardio. He should have fixed that going forward, so that's a good one. And we've also got the returning Sergey Pavlovich, another man that likes to knock people out, taking on Talashin Teixeira, who just had that fight against Tai Tuivasa. So Sergey Pavlovich taking on Talashin Teixeira, Song Yadong versus Figueiredo, and Zhang Mingyang versus Alonzo Menifeld. Jermaine Sterling, the former champion, who is demanding a title shot right now, demanding a title shot in the featherweight division because he just beat Brian Ortega. Well, guess what? He's not getting a title fight. Okay, and I don't think he should right now. He's still got some work to do. He's taking on Youssef Zalal. That will be going down on the 25th of April. Incidentally, that is Callum's birthday. Still, regardless, that's going down at the Apex. Aljamain Sterling taking on Youssef Zalal. Zalal's on like a 5-fight win streak. I think 4 of them are finishes. A lot of submissions to his resume. Very, very light on the feet.
The energy in Perth, Australia, is reaching a fever pitch as the hometown hero Jack Della Maddalena prepares to defend his soil. Returning home as a former champion is one thing, but returning to face a physical specimen like Carlos Prates is a different level of danger altogether. Prates is a massive welterweight who just sent shockwaves through the division by bouncing Leon Edwards' head off the canvas. For JDM, this isn't just a homecoming, it's a high-stakes survival test against a man who seems built in a laboratory for the sole purpose of delivering knockouts.
Difficult stylistic matchup for Aljamain. Of course, Aljo's going to want to get a hold of him, put him down on the ground, use the wrestling. Youssef Zalal, the man's very, very creative with the submissions, but more importantly, extremely light on the feet. And then what else do we have? We have Gilbert Burns. He's taking on Mike Malott. That's going down in Winnipeg, north of the border. in Canada. That'll be cold. It's April. It'll still be cold. I remember when I fought in Montreal at UFC 80.
The featherweight division is currently a shark tank, and two of its hungriest predators are about to be locked in a cage together. Arnold Almighty Allen has stood toe-to-toe with the greatest to ever do it, from Max Holloway to Movsar Evloev. But now he faces the meteoric rise of Diego Lopez, a man riding a 6-fight win streak with a penchant for spectacular finishes. With Lopez coming off a historic knockout of Dan Ige, the momentum is on his side. Can the veteran skill of Arnold Allen weather the storm, or is it time for a new king to emerge in the 145-pound rankings?
3. That was in April, I believe. It was in April. There was massive piles of snow everywhere. So Winnipeg's going to be freezing, but the main event's going to be hot and firing because it's Gilbert Burns taking on Mike Malott. Co-main event, Kyle Phillips taking on Charles Jourdain, and Jasmine Jasdavicius taking on Karine Silva. Right, I'm just going through my notes here, seeing if there's anything that I missed. So far, out of all of those, what is the biggest news to you? What is the biggest surprise? Is it Sean Strickland getting the shot of a Nasruddin Imavov?
The UFC is heading back to Macau, and they're bringing the heavy hitters. Song Yadong, the Chinese knockout artist, is set to face the god of war himself, Deiveson Figueiredo. This is a bantamweight dream fight where speed meets devastating power. But the violence doesn't stop there. We also see the return of the Man Mountain, Zhang Mingyang, looking to erase the memory of his last outing and prove that his knockout streak wasn't a fluke. Facing the powerhouse Alonzo Menafield, this is a fight where the first person to blink is going to wake up looking at the lights.
Imavov beat Kyle Bohayo, but when you look at it, Strickland's already beat Imavov. Yeah, it was a while ago, but a win's a win. And he just put a beat down and a stoppage on Fluffy, right? Imavov beat Kyle Bohayo by decision, and we all know this sport's about what have you done for me lately. There is a backstory between Chimaev and Sean Strickland. They have trained with one another. There's a bit of shit talk. There's going to be bad blood. We know that the lead up to the fight will be goddamn insane, right? Jimmy doesn't hold back. He talks shit, but in a kind of reserved way, but like he truly believes in himself. And Sean Strickland is just going to go on the full offensive. We know that. We know that. He's going to be talking some crazy shit. Dana even joked about it on the little show that we did there. He said they're going to need extra security for that fight, during the fight week, leading up to the fight, after the fight, in the fight. It's going to be a mad one because Sean Strickland doesn't hold back. And you know what? Even if you don't like the shit that he says, you have to appreciate the entertainment value that he brings to the table. And then on top of that, the performances inside the octagon. That one against Fluffy, that was a different Sean Strickland, okay? But can he stop?
Aljamain Sterling is a man on a mission to prove he belongs at the top of the featherweight mountain. But the road to the title is currently blocked by a creative and dangerous puzzle named Yusuf Zalal. While Aljo is demanding a title shot after his win over Brian Ortega, the UFC has given him a trap fight at the Apex. Zalal is on a 5-fight win streak, moving with a lightness and creativity that has frustrated everyone in his path. For the former bantamweight king, this is a must-win. If he can't solve the Zalal puzzle, his dreams of a 2-division legacy may come to a crashing halt.